So now you understand what the Core 4 is. I want to show you how I use the 4 pillars of the Core 4, product, audience, offer, and funnel, to analyze where my product and brand and service is right now and where I need to focus my attention. Now, if you've never run ads before, the Core 4 grading can help you understand where your biggest problems are and where your biggest levers are. If you have run ads before, it will define where you need to optimize and work on before you try and scale up. And if I've seen one big problem, it's that people will often come to me and say, I want to scale up and I can't. But there are so many other things that need to be fixed first that they're not worried about fixing, but they just want to spend more and make more. And there are steps that go into place before you're able to do that and do that consistently. So in this section, I'll explain the advertising Core 4 score chart. I'll show you how to grade your AC4, some case studies and benchmarks, and then creating your AC4 action plan as well. So here's the template that we use, and you'll see a link below for you to make your own version of this as well. And what I do is, whenever I'm launching my own e-com offers, my own info products, or if we take on clients in the agency, what we're doing is to find a baseline for where they are right now on their Core 4. So with their product, we look at how well their product is positioned in the market. For their offer, how well the proposition is constructed. For the audience, the ability to identify and find your perfect customer. And then the funnel is how well you're able to convert that user into a sale or a lead or whatever it is. And then we score that from 5 per section. So 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5 would give you 20 out of 5, and then 20 out of 20. And then any comments that go in here on observations as well. What we then do is to look at the score, and this is based on auditing, I don't know, countless, hundreds, 500 plus, I don't know. We've audited so many ad accounts with the Core 4, and we found a familiar pattern. If this score overall out of 20 comes between, we score out of 1 to 5. If the score is 20, it means it's absolutely perfect. So all of the scores are perfect. I don't think we've ever seen this, but I would say that we have developed ad accounts that have enabled to get to that position, because they are the ones that really have a product that absolutely cuts through. They absolutely understand their perfect customer, their offers are on point, and their funnels convert like crazy. When you are in this position, you're in the perfect position to scale, because your business, your marketing, your advertising, everything is aligned with Facebook, and Facebook will give you what you want from the auction. A score between 15 and 19, which is a lot of businesses that are ready to scale, means that you can still do some optimization on your Core 4, but you should be in a position to start scaling, because you should be getting a lot more stability, etc., etc. If you score between 10 and 14, it's a bit too early to scale up. It means that 1 or 2 parts, or maybe more, of your pillars aren't as optimized as possible. So it could be that your offer isn't strong, that your click-through rates are low, your conversion rates are low, you're not getting the profitability, the ROAS, the targets, etc., are just not being met. Then you need to do more optimization and testing. If your score is below 9, and I have unfortunately seen ad accounts where it does score below 9, you have a lot more work to do than worrying about Facebook ads. You'd probably need to review your product itself. Do you really understand your avatar? Your offer's probably poor and your website's probably poor. So if you're in that position, you need to really work on more than just your Facebook advertising. So going back to that, we kind of tally through those scores, get an idea of kind of where we are, and then we create a plan. So what I want to share with you are 3 examples based on audits that we've conducted to give you an idea of how we construct that score. So at this stage, what I would recommend you do is to get that spreadsheet open so that you can actually put your scores in whilst you're understanding what goes into our process and how we actually score and grade. Now, one thing I would also recommend is, quite often when we do this in the agency, we get 2 or 3 people to grade the Core 4. That means that we take the average of everyone, and we're not using an opinion, we're looking at the average across. So this is an e-com electronics store, and I believe 3 people inputted, including myself and my team, on different parts of the funnel. So how well was the product positioned in the market? We've given it a score, and we've also made some comments. So this product was well rounded, a lot of uses, good average order value, meaning extra room for ad CPA, for example. Can work well with bundling, high chance of selling more than one unit, multiple targeting options available, so variants. Results from October for this particular client show there is a large interest. So the product was well positioned. It clearly solved a problem or created a new opportunity. So we gave it a 5 out of 5. Then on the offer side, we only gave it a 2, and this was a big area to improve. There's a need to generate new angles for the product through testing, need to fix the landing page and brand fill, so less drop shippy. So this was a client that wanted to take their dropship store into a brand and bring products over from China to the US, for example, and their current ads and product pages were looking quite desperate. Like, we really want to sell, there's timers and conversion things which were just making the experience look really bad, and you could tell from the conversion rate and looking at user replays. Then we looked at the audience. We had a lot of data on interest, lookalikes, targeting. Didn't seem to be a big issue, but there were still untapped audiences. So they did a good job of testing lots and lots of audiences, but the messaging was really, really poor. So we felt like we had good sales data. I think they had maybe 10,000 sales, for example, but they weren't as profitable as they need to be. So this is another key thing. It's easy to generate sales in Facebook, but to be profitable, hit your KPIs and etc., you're going to have to work hard in your offer and also your funnel. So we scored the funnel a 3. Current conversion rate was okay at 2.5%, but there was still so much opportunity to be had to improve conversion rate and also average order value. The product itself cost about $40, maybe $50. And with that, there's 2 things I would focus on. Is that conversion rate could be a lot better because it is a low ticket product, and also bumping up with bundles and other opportunities to push our average order value up would mean that we can get a higher original first purchase value from them, from that $40 to $50. And we're actually doing that. We actually got that up to, I believe, $85 with some additional increases on the average order value, which meant that we could be a lot more profitable on the front end. And we worked on kind of back end opportunities as well, which if you've understood the KPI part of the training, you'll understand how important that is as well. So that's an example here where the total score was 14 out of 20. It's okay, but we still needed to do more testing for stability. So that's example number 1. Example number 2 here is a brand that was doing fitness products. This one was really, really poor. This one I had a coaching call with the business owner, and his team were running Facebook ads, but they just couldn't figure out how this particular product category was just not performing well. And when I had a look at this, fitness is a highly saturated market, but there was no clear solution or opportunity offered. So this fitness device, it was like an abs cruncher, so you could kind of wear this device around your kind of head and upper body, lie on your back and do some crunches on your stomach. But there was nothing which showed clearly, at least from the product positioning, what the solution was or new opportunity that people have created. Now, if you're in the fitness space, people are looking for the outcome. Like, no one wants to sit there crunching their abs all day. That doesn't appeal. But if you show that in 30 days you can have this kind of look, or you can lose this much weight or whatever it is, and you have to be careful around policy wording, but if you can show the outcome, that's what people are after. The offer that they had set up was completely discount based. It was 50% off your first order. They had some profit through Black Friday and some New Year's sales, but then they struggled. And what we were looking at were, what were the ad angles, what were the persuasion techniques used? There's only so far you can take discounting, and also the type of users or customers that you generate from discounts might not be the ones that you really want to work with long term, because they came in through a discount, they'll probably buy again through a discount, they may not be the ones that recommend to other people, etc., etc. So their offer needed a lot more work. Then you look at the audience, and they had good data on their audiences in Facebook, but there was no market research, there was no understanding of what the audience's motivators were, their interests, their reason for buying. They didn't really go deeper into really understanding the pain points of their customer and trying to build that into their targeting to find the right people, and then into their ads as well. And then their conversion, their funnel was really, really poor. So overall, this client scored 9 out of 20. And our feedback for them, and where I actually worked with this store owner, was to work on researching their avatar, repositioning their product, rebuilding their messaging and their offers, the angles and creatives, and tweaking their funnels, new landing pages, and trying different techniques out to get higher performance before they start to invest more heavily on Facebook. And this third example is an info product, which is actually one of my products as well. We were then looking at, right, we have this info product, how can we make it better? So the actual product that we had, the product was serving a real problem, very little competition for this particular product, but maybe a bit too niche, so we scored it a 4. And bear in mind, this was graded by my team. The offer appealed to a pain point and relates well to the problems, but the narrow nature of the messaging is likely missing other people that have the same pain point. We knew that because we launched this fast and we wanted to do testing, the offer wasn't as strong as it could be. So that's something which we knew for this particular product we could rework. Then our audiences, we had lots of data, but we didn't really go deep into understanding the perfect customer. And then the funnel was rushed and the funnel was set up really fast. And despite the fact that the product was highly profitable and we were scaling, we knew we could squeeze a lot more by working on these different aspects. So we scored this as a 13 out of 20 with lots of opportunity to do more as well. So that gives you an idea of kind of how we use this grading and some of the outcomes, which I will expand out in subsequent sections on how to improve different parts of your Core 4 as well. So at the end of this, I want you to kind of tell me what you believe to be your biggest lever. If you've gone through this exercise, you've gone through your advertising Core 4, you've got your scores written down, you've made observations, ideally you've collected it also from your team and external observers if you can, it could be a friend or family, etc. What are your biggest levers right now? Be as honest as possible, be open to opportunity, and this will help you to create your test plan and to come up with ideas on how to actually develop your strategy. And also, before I kind of end this session, I want to give you an example of a case study where this Core 4 really helped to kind of define the biggest lever. So this example here is an e-commerce store that we took to 16 million in 5 months. And the biggest lever for us was the offer. The product was great, audience was well defined, the funnel was good, but it really came down to the offer. So when we did the Core 4 grading, overall this store scored a 17 out of 20. And although the product was great, the audience great, the funnel was pretty good, their biggest opportunity was actually on the offer. It wasn't clearly communicating all the possible angles for the product, the emotional reasons why someone would want to buy, the functional benefits, and we wanted to really work that a lot harder. And that for me was one of the key reasons why we were able to scale this client up. We started off, spending $500 a day, $1,000 a day. It was kind of fairly standard stuff, to the point where we scaled it up to, I think, maybe 30, 35K a day at really high profitability. And the only reason we had to pace our spend was to make sure we could manage stock availability. But we did that by really understanding and breaking out what the offer really was. So for this particular product and brand, it was to make you look and feel your best on the slopes. So the product itself was high-tech ski and snowboarding apparel, but really the core of the message was making you look and feel great and kind of look your best on the slopes. This really came out in our ads and our creative, and I'll show you how to break that down into your avatar in the further sections. The avatar, which is defining who we're targeting, we go quite broad initially. So it's people interested in ski or snowboard, adults 18 to 50, mix of lookalikes, interest, and broad. So that was the kind of audience that we were targeting. Then the ads, this then helped to build the kind of theme for the ads. So the ads, we wanted to get the feeling of looking great and feeling great. So our creative and our copy was all tailored around that. And then we used the 4-funnel system, which you'll see later on in the training, to build the right ads at the right time for the right user. So top of funnel, which I call my cold audience, was talking about cool fashion, trendy, standout. We used influencers. Then warm is people that have engaged with an ad, for example, video but not clicked. We used influencers, a stylist tool there as well. Then hot are my customers that have clicked but not purchased. We use testimonials, kind of reminder messages, dynamic product ads, and then existing customers, we used mechanics to try and get them to buy again, which worked really well as well. We put all of those together based on, I think we spent 2 to 3 weeks ahead of launching the first ad, building the core 4, building our avatar, building our ad strategy, our funnels, our 4-funnel system, cold, warm, hot, existing customers, building our ad campaigns out, and then going through the test process of then testing the different theories of different ads and different angles, etc., etc. So it's a real big part of understanding how to get the best out of your ad campaigns is building the core 4 into your strategy, understanding how to build avatars. And what I'll show you in the 5W avatar section is how that one piece of analysis and that big piece of research plays a big impact on who we target, how we target them, what our funnels look like, etc., etc. So that by the time you launch your campaigns, you have all of this locked down. It'll be far faster for you to hit profitability, spend less time and money on testing, and be able to build stability a lot faster as well.